What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to this episode of English Tricks. I review your favorite Turkish series with and without English subtitles. My hair's a bit messy because I've just finished watching Dogdugun of Kaderindir, episode 26. Guys, I don't know what to say about this show. I'm honestly praying that this show stays for as long as her shy or even longer, because her shy is going on for quite some time now. They're in their hundreds of episodes or whatever they're on, and we're only on episode 26, and I don't know where we're going with this, guys. Every episode, no matter if it's chaos or peace or calm before the storm, it's always so enticing. Every minute of it always makes sense. Let's talk about the episode. So Mehdi's in jail, and he's getting used to it, getting used to the people around him. I don't know how he's walking into jail looking like an FA, bruh. They didn't even take any of his clothes. Is their prisons better than American prison? You get to keep all your clothes. They don't put you in prison jumpsuits. You get to just be in an open room with a card table and making tea all day. I would get so tired of tea. Every time I see them drinking, I'm like, dude, I get tired of that. I drink tea, not as much as I used to, but man, I'd be tired of that. They drink tea all the time. But anyway, so he's getting used to the people in jail while Zainab is trying to get used to life, with Mehdi in jail. And she's going through some post-traumatic stress. Now, obviously, we opened the episode with her talking to Badish, and I'm going to give my thoughts about Badish a little later. However, she's talking about it. They kind of share a few things. I feel good when you're around, and I feel good when you're around, and all of that. And Emine overhears them. But anyway, Sakine Teze starts treating Barış Bey's brother, Sadishe, I think that's his name. I don't know. I always forget it. It's just not one of those names that you remember. But anyway, yeah, she starts treating him like her son, and he responds to that, which is kind of they're both missing that one person. He's missing the mom that took care of him all the time, and she's missing the son that she lost. And so, yeah, they ended up creating this connection, and all of a sudden they just become good family friends. Zainab ends up going to her room, and Emine, being the good friend that she is, doesn't leave Zainab hanging and stays by Zainab's side throughout the entire night. Zainab's obviously afraid. She puts cans by the window and by the door just in case, if Mehdi would have shown up, then she would hear him coming in. So that's definitely a sign of post-traumatic stress. And so the next day, because she stayed up so late, she ends up waking up late, and Badish Bey comes and picks her up from the house, which obviously, he's your boss. Why is he doing so much for you? But maybe because he understands. And so she sees Benal, and Benal says that she's going to marry Mehdi, and Zainab's like, are you kidding me? Which in some ways I can understand Benal, because Mehdi doesn't love her like that, so it wouldn't be the same issue. But then again, it's also dangerous, so I can understand why Zainab is afraid for her. Anyway, they go to the office. Everyone greets her. Everyone's happy to see her. They sing happy birthday to her, which I love that we all share that same birthday melody. And after they do this birthday, they end up going to they're about to go cut the cake when Zainab's dad shows up and starts yelling all kinds of rubbish. Obviously, he's drunk, and he's basically, happy to see his daughter, but at the same time, he's so confused and starts yelling out crap and stuff like that. Anyway, Zainab takes him to the restroom, tries to wash him off, but then Badish Bey sends his driver to go and help him. I don't know if he's a driver assistant. I don't know what he is, but sends him there to take care of him. And then Badish Bey gives him some money and tells him never to come back. So obviously we see two different type of men. We see Mehdi, who's like, I'll take care of you. And then we see Badish Bey, who's like, I'm not taking your crap, get out of here. So I'm kind of in the middle of it. Yeah, I get it, because, Vidam is not changing no matter what they do for him. So anyway, Zainab feels terrible about this, but everybody's like, hey, we gotta work, we gotta move it, we gotta do this, we're a law firm. It's not all about, this. It can't be all about this. We have to work. And so Jamile is taking this super hard, so she ends up really, there's a secret going on, and I don't know what the secret is. Obviously, Mushkan, who passed away, didn't know the secret. Only Jemile and her mom know the secret, but who? It's almost like there's something missing, and New's trying to figure it out. What, because New's like, hey, like he's doing horrible things, but there's something going on. We don't know what it is. Maybe Medi is a product of another woman, and then because Medi's dad went to jail, then the mom took care of him, and then Mushkan ended up taking care of him. But if Mushkan doesn't know, and Mushkan's older than Jemile, then like they would have to see their mom pregnant or whatever. Something's missing here. But I guess that's what's going to take us into the next episode. And so they end up going to prison to see Medi, but Jemile lies to him and says that Banal can't come to the prison, the baby can't come to the prison, you have to marry her in order for her to come. She's doing everything in order to get Medi to agree to this marriage. So at first Medi says no. And then while Medi was in prison, somebody had made like a house of matches, like it's a match house. And he asked if he could take it, and he gave that to Jemile to give to Zainab. Now, Jemile thought about throwing it in the trash, and I thought she probably should have thrown it in the trash, but she, being a good sister, gave it to Zainab, because you never know, because it could get back to Medi that she didn't do it. So I guess being a good sister, she gives it to Zainab. Zainab sees it's a house of matches, and basically Medi saying bye, and also kind of being a little vindictive, like, I should have seen in your eyes that I'm no longer your home, or you're no longer my home, and you've burned down my house, so here's another house for you to burn. So kind of like throwing it in her face a little. And so she ends up taking that gift and giving it to Medi's lawyer, who gives it to Medi back in prison. And he's like, listen, I'm your lawyer, I'm also your friend, leave her alone. She's freaked out, she can't even walk down the street without thinking that you're gonna pop out somewhere, and I've been stalked before, so I know how that feels. And so then, with that incident happening, he calls his sister and tells his sister he'll marry Banal. Banal kind of took a step back, but then went forward and said she's going to do it. And so in the meantime, Badish Bey and Zainab and Emine and Sadiq Bey, I don't know what his name is, I'm so sorry, Badish brother, they all get together and they're like having a dinner at Badish Bey's house. It's quite... Man, I have some things I want to say, but I'm just trying to hold my tongue here. So while they're having this dinner, Banal and Medi are getting married. So they do get married, and then at this dinner, Badish Bey and Zainab end up dancing together, and the episode ends with what we saw in the commercial, them getting super close. And so there is no fragment out for it yet. I'm actually really surprised at all the fake fragments that people watch. Like, it's like 10,000 views for fake fragments. Like, why do people click on that stuff? It's so obvious it's not from the channel, but people click on it. I'm interested to see what's going to happen in the episode. I'm actually really interested to see what happens in the next episode, because I know the connection is not going to die here. Now, Jemile has decided to break ties with Zainab's family and Sultan, because they all live in that house. So she decides to break ties by saying, listen, give me my money back, and I'm going to take the money and I'm going to invest it in the company that New and Medi started, so that, because it's just too much, which I kind of agree with Jemile there. Like, we need to cut ties. And, Zainab is trying to do the same thing. So not having the connection with the sister, especially since she's living with Sultan and she's living with Emine, and then they would have a connection due to the business, it's quite understandable. It needed to happen. I mean, sadly, it's like a connection that's sad to have been lost. But I think Sultan will try to remain in their lives, but just keeping Zainab out of it. I will say, I see there's a connection going on with Badish Bey's brother and Emine, and I'm loving where that's going. But I'm having serious mixed feelings with Badish Bey. Like, I posted a question, who do you want Zainab to be with, Badish or Medi? And I'm such at a crossroads, because there's no way in the world I could see her going back to Medi, not with the way the situation is right now, because if she does, it means everybody's efforts and everything has been wasted. But at the same time, there's something about Badish Bey that I don't like. And you see his brother challenged him and said, listen, I haven't had a friend in a long time. She's my friend. I don't want her to become one of your exes, and then me and her can't talk anymore, which I can agree with. Like, I can totally agree with. But like even when he said goodbye to her, like even okay, so after that, when they were at the office and then she left to get the thing away or whatever, and Barishbe calls her, and then when they hang up the phone, he says opiurum, which means kisses. Why would your boss be telling you opiurum? And then Barish Bey says, when we're not at the office, call me Barish. Girl, I don't know what to think, guys. I'm having this love-hate relationship with Barish Bey. Like, even when Zainab was like, oh, but guys, you know, like, it's Mehdi. He would never, like, do something like that. And then she just blurted, like, Barish just blurted out, that's why he had a gun in the car. And I was like, bro, I don't know if I like you. Because, like, I get why she needs to know that. And maybe he needs to give her the tough version of it. But at the same time, like, I don't know if I agree with how he did it. Like, I don't agree. But I did find interesting the way M&A described all her relationships, like how she liked the boy in school, but she felt like the boy would never like her because he's rich and blah, blah, blah. And why would he like, you know, her? And then Farouk thinking that he would like her, but then he turned out not to. And then Mehdi, who liked the idea of her past to try to be her savior, which I can kind of agree with her on that. Mehdi looked at himself as a savior to her, and he's doing the same thing in jail, like way too cocky for me. He's like, oh, I have a son like you, took him in, okay, he working, da-da-da, with the jacket on his shoulders. Like, dude, who are you? You are in prison. But at least he accepts what he did. You know, he accepts what he did was wrong, but he still does love Zainab, and it's hard for him to let that go, which I don't know how we got from the beginning to them. Like, even when we saw the memory about the marbles and everything, I just don't know how we went from there to there. But I did like that she gave the marbles to Barish Bey's brother, because I felt like that was a tie that's like way too much. But also giving away the marbles, also taking them, meant that if Mehdi came home, he wouldn't have that memory of her, because anything strikes a memory to him of her. And so it's just difficult. So on one side, I'm thinking, yeah, Barish Bey is a good difference because they're both on the same wavelengths. They grew up sort of the same way. They both have family issues. They both grew up a little bit in a wealthy household. Of course, Zainab started in a non-wealthy household, so there's some differences in their child raising, but they see life the same way and stuff. I just don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should we be on his side? Should we say yes, go, or maybe she just needs someone completely different? Where's Tolga? Where's Tolga? Is he around? I don't know, guys. But I'm so loving this show. I can stay with this storyline because the writers are amazing. They know how to build every single like storyline. Nothing is rushed. And in all the other Dizzies, I'm telling you right now, all the other Dizzies, I'm not gonna name them, but for all the ones that I'm watching, Masunla Apartmani and Dogdugun Kaderindir, they know plot development. Whoever's writing the storyline, whoever the directors are, they understand plot development and they do it well. They need to be the highest paid people in the business. Now, I don't watch every Turkish Dizzy out there, so there could be other storylines from other shows that are just as good. But for me and all the shows that I'm currently watching, I think those two, not just because they're more of a drama style series and they're not based on comedy, but because they know storyline development. And I'll talk about that in another video. But thank you guys so much for listening to me. Thank you for sharing this moment with me as we talked about the episode. Can't wait to talk about it with you guys next week. Bye.